In this tutorial, I'm going to go over a setting in Fusion 360 which alters Fusion's performance for computers that are lacking some power. This particular setting is great if your computer doesn't have a dedicated graphics card, it doesn't have the greatest amount of RAM, or if you've got a computer that really wasn't designed for doing 3D modeling in. So let's dive in. The computer I'm going to be using for this tutorial is a 10-year-old HP 8200 Elite all-in-one computer that does not have a dedicated graphics card. Recently I resurrected this computer from storage, wiped the hard drive clean, and also did a Windows 10 installation on it. Afterwards I installed Fusion 360 and Autodesk screencasting software. I was a little disappointed in my first model in Fusion as the performance was really poor and subpar. I started digging into some of the settings and discovered one setting that dramatically improved the performance on this desktop. So hopefully this video will help someone else who may be experiencing the same thing. I have a basic part that I'm going to be making for the tutorial. Initially I'll be making this part with the setting turned off so you can see the latency and lag I'm experiencing on this desktop. Afterwards I'll turn the setting on and remake the part so you can see the performance difference. So we're going to start with our part, R on the keyboard, clicking on our top plane. And notice when I start gesturing around my workspace how much lag there is from our snapping point to our cursor. So if I move my cursor over, it takes about a second or two for the snapping point to kind of catch back up. We're going to snap our location to our origin, drag our mouse out, and add in some dimensions for our rectangle. Afterwards, we're going to extrude it by pressing and pulling, and we're going to extrude this 1 inch. Now that we have our solid body, we're going to apply some points on top of our part. So create sketch on the top of our part, and then down to points. This next step here, I really want you to see how much latency there is from the time I click on the part to when Fusion 360 actually lands the point. So notice there's about a 2 to 3 second delay there. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish our sketch since this part is done. In the upper right hand corner we have our help menu. We're going to click on this and go down to support and diagnostics and over to graphics diagnostic. In our pop-up window here, you can see that this pop-up window is talking all about the graphics card on this computer and what Fusion 360 is requiring of it. As you can see, this computer does not have a dedicated graphics card. It's actually embedded into the motherboard. Underneath here we have our effects settings, and this will show you which settings are turned on and off. And at the bottom here we have these troubleshooting suggestions. One thing that I suggest is before you begin, if you have a dedicated graphics card, to click this button and make sure that you have the most current graphics card drivers installed on your computer. Underneath here we have this checkbox where it says limit effects to optimize performance. We're going to check this, and notice up here in our effects settings it turns pretty much everything off. After we do this, we're going to hit close, and we're going to remake this same exact part. This time when I remake this part, I'm going to go as fast as I possibly can so it will demonstrate the performance increase that one checkbox has done. So let's begin. And just like that, we created the same exact part, but significantly faster. So as you can see, this one setting made a substantial difference on this computer. Now I haven't checked what this setting will do in other workspaces, but for the time being, This will at least liven up the design workspace for some basic 3D modeling. So I hope you take a look at this setting and see if it helps you out. And this concludes my quick tutorial on how to make some performance improvements in Fusion 360.